Welcome, fellow saints, to the Holy of Holies. I'm Brandon, and this is Cinema Saints. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Happy Death Day to You. Happy Death Day to You is directed by Christopher Landon, and he has given us the first Happy Death Day, Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse, and Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. So I actually really enjoyed the first Happy Death Day. I thought it was fun and a good twist on the horror comedy genre. So Happy Death Day to You stars Jessica Rothe, Israel Broussard, and Fivu, and I'm really sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but it follows Fivu's character, Ryan, which is the roommate to Israel Broussard's character. He ends up in this time loop, and this is like literally the opening shots. He is in this time loop, and you start to kind of go from there. I don't want to give a whole lot away because I'm not sure if you watch trailers or not, but the trailers give away a lot. So I want to keep it as you guys as pure as possible going into this movie. So I want to go into some negatives in this movie. First, I thought the movie just went too fast for its own good. The movie just moves so quickly, and it's kind of obnoxious towards the end because it just won't end. That's another thing that I wasn't a huge fan of, was because it moves so fast, it just wouldn't end because it had to fill in a lot of runtime from what I would imagine when you could have fleshed out a whole lot that was going on in the movie. So there's one scene in particular that involves Tree trying to explain to Ryan and his friends some information that she knows and everything, but they just kind of accept it after like one or two times. And I would imagine that they wouldn't, just considering their background. I mean, the whole movie is full of you having to suspend your disbelief, but I feel like that could have been a little more fleshed out. Added a couple more minutes to the runtime, and it would have been fine. So I also want to mention that there's a trigger warning for this movie. If you have dealt with self-harm or suicidal thoughts and everything, this movie does have a little bit of that in there. One of the characters kind of has this choice and realizes that they can start committing suicide instead of having to be murdered, and that would have been fine if they didn't go about it in a comedic way. So that whole scene came off as a comedy montage, and it had Hard Times by Paramore playing, and it really frustrated me because in our society in 2019, there's a lot of stuff that's been coming out with mental health and everything that has been really pushing all that awareness forward, and then having this and kind of making fun of it, and I don't know, it frustrated me a little bit, and so I just wanted to give that warning out. So other than those criticisms, I did really enjoy this movie. The entire cast had such great chemistry, and Jessica Rothe really knows how to nail that comedic timing. And then she also really is able to pull out those dramatic scenes and be able to like have the tears flowing and everything. Where, I mean, I was feeling it. And on that same note, this entire movie itself is really able to balance the comedic scenes with the dramatic scenes very well. So those dramatic scenes really worked, and Jessica Rothe was able to bring out her character's depth because she had to make some pretty big decisions here, and I thought it just really worked, and I actually was feeling for it for a little bit. So in this movie, they explain some of the like weird things that happened in the first one, kind of like how the lights would start flickering and everything. They kind of explain that in this, and so I thought that was also a really cool aspect to add into this movie as a sequel. And speaking of making this a really good sequel, Christopher Landon decided to take the time loop aspect to it, and kind of push it forward and make it bigger, go to different dimensions and different multiverses and stuff. And I thought that was really ballsy for a director to do with a horror sequel. So as usual, I want to talk about the theological aspects that I kind of got out of this movie. And so one of those was seeing like the aspect of foreknowledge of God and free will, and being able to kind of see what your different realities can be, and then choosing which reality you want, having that kind of free will. And so I kind of saw a little bit of that in there, even though it might not have been like really fleshed out. I also thought about the handling of grief during this film. The main character has this internal struggle in which she has to choose whether she wants to live the life that would cause her less pain or the life that will cause her more pain, and embrace that because it's a part of life. I just thought that aspect was really cool because life is great, but it's also terribly painful at times. So I encourage you to find community that you have and be able to share that life with others, be able to share that pain with others because they're going through the same thing that you are. And so in the community of others, you really do find that beauty of life. So with all that said, Happy Death Day to You is a really fun movie and actually a solid sequel. It expands on the lore that you know from the first, and I thought it was good, like just as good, if not better than the first. So I'd give Happy Death Day to You 7 Kappa Sisters out of 10. I mean, if you like the first one, you'll definitely like this. Also, we'll see what they do with that post-credit scene and whether or not we're going to be seeing Happy Death Day 3. Who knows? Well, thanks for watching, fellow Saints. Continue to like and subscribe, and as always, go in peace.